Yeah.
Damn. That would be pretty insanely hard to run. By the way, have you spawned in?
Yeah. Do you not get nails?
No, I get nails, but you're not on dead link at all.
That's weird because
there's Bandit, Bra, 195, 78 miles, 36,000.
I'm gonna pretend I heard that because Jester was talking.
Okay, I said the dead link's being funky.
Hey boys, sorry. Sorry about having to wait Duncan, but I have to go now.
Oh, that's fine. Alright. See ya.
Yeah. Move on. Sorry.
No, no worries. This is new to me. I'm not used to narrating my videos or talking during the engagement themselves, so I went silent during this entire first round until the very end when stuff started to get spicy. So I'm going to voice this over. As you have just seen, I fired my first Fox 3 at around 63 miles, 65 miles or so. I was doing Mach 1.3, around 40 to 41,000 feet. The reason for me pitching up to about 20 degrees is to hopefully increase the range of my missile. If I remember in post, I will link a video by Fly and Wire covering the topic in extreme detail, and it is something worth knowing for every Tomcat pilot who wants to take things a bit more seriously and get the maximum out of their aircraft.
Okay,
it is an old aircraft and an old missile after all, so you need all the help you can get. Right now I'm just cranking left and then right and then back left to try and drain any eventual missile's energy.
Okay.
Just have to assume that he's fired at you. You don't know if he fires at you in a trap-wall scan lock. You're not going to get a notification except for the 16 nails. Right now he's spiking me, but I'm pretty sure that well, if he fires at me now, I'm going to get the radar notification, so I know that there at least isn't a second missile coming. I'm trying to keep guiding my missile. It just went active, that's why I cleared the radar tracks. It might not be very visible on YouTube depending on the compression and things like that. Flip the ACM cover up in preparation of the closer range that the engagement is going to be held at. Trying to look for him visually.
Alrighty. Yes, sir. Got lock.
And this is a neat little trick that I learned to do with Jester pretty recently.
I lost lock.
To tell him to lock a data link contact and he will actually lock them with the radar. Unfortunately, this shot was almost immediately rendered useless. He dropped behind that bit of terrain right there. The missile lost the track. I got him again in PAL this time, inside of 10 miles.
8 miles.
Right now I'm very worried about an AMRAAM from him,
but
I'm not sure that he actually saw me or managed to get a lock. I go into this little valley, come around this mountain right here, and this is where we lose each other. Right now I have no idea where he is. I only know that he went sort of left from my perspective back there. So I'm going to follow this and assume that he kept in this turn and didn't reverse. So I make this assumption and just hoping that I made the right one, because if I didn't, he's going to be on my 6 shortly, and this is a very bad position to be in.
Joker.
Jester just called out Joker. I'm losing fuel very rapidly, so that's why you hear the afterburners come off.
Sink rate's too high.
We are 6,000 pounds and less now, which is not much, considering we might have a potential dogfight on our hands pretty soon. These BVR fights, they often devolve into dogfights if both people play their cards right and defend their the respective opponent's foxleys.
Fight's on. 5:30 and blazing.
So right now, Jester calls fights on, and I don't actually see him. I just heard the sonic boom.
Airspeed 490.
Looking for him visually, frantically.
11 o'clock.
Don't see him.
We're at 390.
I don't know where he went. I just heard a sonic boom. He's, well, pretty much guaranteed to be above me. That's why I'm looking
12
kind
o'clock.
of high.
Fight. 1 o'clock.
Now he's locking me. I still don't see him. This is very bad.
7 o'clock.
Desperately looking behind me because this is where you usually find your bandit. If you can't see him, he's usually going to be able to slot in on your 6.
We took a hit. Left
Yep,
elevon is
just got
damaged.
hit with
Watch
guns,
it. 6
looks
o'clock,
like.
6 o'clock.
Desperately trying to jink here. My reasoning being my Tomcat can generate more lift and will stall at a slower speed than his F-16 will. So managed to force the overshoot right here, which is good.
Oh, he's dead
He's going
now.
vertical, using his thrust weight ratio. You can see him fire off one or more AMRAAMs into the distance because he wants to be as light as he can for a dogfight. Managed to get a lock, and
12
guns almost hit him.
We're bingo fuel.
And right here, thankfully do not drop lock, and I'll be
12
able
o'clock
to
low.
guide and uncage the Sidewinder Seakids, fire 2 of them for good measure. And splash.
Flash. Flash. Bandit is going down.
That was hairy. I don't like this.
We got like 2 rounds of that.
Yeah.
I feel like people would want to see the pilot
Really?
in mind.
I
Yeah.
think it's pretty interesting to see the Rio as well.
The Rio is good if you have
Grab that.
it to go along.
Alright, here we go for round 2. I have the Bandit at about 75 miles, 80 miles for now. I'm getting up to speed and altitude. I would ideally like Mach 1.2 or more, and around 40,000 feet. That seems to be a reasonable launch parameters to achieve within the time frame and the distance that we have here. As you've noticed, this is a bit more shaky than usual. It's because this is the VR, the first recording I did in VR of any engagement really, and this is all new to me. So I need you guys' feedback on how it looks, if it's too shaky or if it's too blurry. I know it's kind of lower resolution than what you've been seeing so far on the channel, and that's because I was using ShadowPlay to record this, but this is about to change. The quality is going to go up, but I really need to know about the shakiness and how you guys feel about it. So as you've just seen, I've fired on the F-16 around 60 miles. Initially I went straight, so that I don't give away the fact that I've fired, because cranking immediately after firing, especially on these one-on-one situations, the bandit's gonna know you just fired, so trying to hide that a bit. But I saw that he was cranking anyway, so didn't have anything left to hide, and there was not much point in keeping in that heading and that altitude, so I reduced speed, reduced altitude. I am cranking a bit right now, so that the missile will have to recalculate its lead on me. And I should be getting the missile warning any second now. I'm already anticipating it. I plugged the burners back on for a second, just to try and keep my speed somewhat high. I just flipped the ACM cover up in anticipation of a closer range fight.
Here we go.
There we go. Missile went active on me.
Okay, that spike's coming from our 9
I initially want to notch the missile. It's very difficult to notch an AMRAAM. But then I noticed that the missile was on my 5 o'clock in the rear quarter, so it was not much point in trying to notch, so I just tried to put it on my 6, outrun it. So with the high speed and the low altitude, it's not going to be a big problem. Keeping track of where he is, thanks to the data link. The AWACS is going to prove a bit problematic in the following rounds for him, but it might be an F-16 thing and not a server setup thing. So I'm fairly confident I've defeated this missile now. I'm recommitting slowly, following the terrain, trying to stay low. I'm telling Jester to lock this data link contact. He doesn't seem to have registered that order. There is no new missile from him, just locked him. The ACM cover is up, so this Phoenix is active off the rails, and I instantly turn left to defend any incoming missile he might have fired. I see him contrailing up here. I don't think he fired a missile.
The sink rate is too high.
And here you see a bit of the hazards of flying into clouds. I have no idea where the terrain is, where the mountains are in those clouds, so I did my best to remain out of the clouds. I just clipped the top of it. That's one of the challenges that fighting over mountain ranges can pose. I see him again visually. You guys might not be able to see him, but in VR it's pretty easy to spot out little dots. They appear as black specks in the sky. Fairly big. If you know where to look, you will find them. And right here my radar sees him. Tell Jester to lock, and he is unable because he presumably just dipped behind this mountain ridge. Since I was in VR, I probably kept track of him visually, and I'm looking for him in PAL because I know he's within PAL range. Trying to conserve some fuel. I'm already pretty fast anyways. Can keep the speed up just by putting the afterburners on zone 2 or zone 3 and leaving it like that. Saves a bit of fuel, keeps the speed high.
I'm picking up nails on the nose.
He has found me and he's immediately fired a missile on me. I'm trying to look for him visually. Can't really see him, so I'm going to try my best and almost crash into the ground, but I managed to pull out of that without too much damage to the aircraft. I think the gyros all seem to be working fine, the horizon is still level. Jester just called out Joker. I successfully defended this missile and I'm starting to run out of fuel. And now he's locking me. And we've just merged.
6 o'clock, 1 mile.
Got a compressor stall. And he has only AMRAAMs, but as it turns out, the AMRAAM is quite a maneuverable missile. And he actually gets a kill on me. So that was a nice fight. Nice fight, good kill. I didn't think they would go as far as boycott it.
Oh, no,
ever.
The economy in the game is just absolutely ruined. Also, I cannot see you on Datalink at all. Like, you're just not there for me.
Oh, well, it might be unfair then, because both AWACS are in the same place, but I see you.
Annoying.
Well, mine was doing the same thing in Area 1, but I didn't have issues seeing you, I think. Or if I did, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, this is the final round in the video. As you heard Nitro say, he has some problems with the AWACS. I'm not too sure what was causing it. He told me that the F-16 does have some problems with data link. And that's probably what that is, because I've looked into the mission and I tried to change some parameters and nothing actually changed the behavior of the AWACS. My coverage was always good. This time I fired the missile with much better parameters. I was doing around Mach 1.2 and at 45,000 feet, which will give it a much better probability of kill. Unlike the last round where I was barely supersonic, it just went active as you saw, and I for some reason decided to send another Fox 3 his way, even before the first one was dealt with, and that was a waste in hindsight. His missile just went active on me. I'm tremendously fast, going around Mach 1.5, close to ground level. I have to be very careful with my maneuvers, as you can see I'm blacking out, over-G'ing the aircraft. Not as badly as during the last round, but still. I'm pretty confident that I can beat this missile, even just running away, not even putting it on my 6 because I'm so fast. That and the fact that there is a lot of terrain between me and the missile, which helps me to terrain mask. So I flipped the ACM cover up because I know he's going to be fairly close. His missile, I didn't know it at the time, but he fired it inside of 30 miles, which is very dangerous, especially given his speed. When he fired, it was over Mach 1.5. Here I see him on data link, but he's much higher than I expected him to be, and because of the sun I couldn't really see him, his contrail. I just picked him up in PAL right now, sent a missile his way, but he was already in the process of reducing altitude, and because of that this missile is going to launch dart straight into the ground because of the lead calculation it needs to perform. This is again where I lose nitro. Him being so fast, I do not have a good idea of how far a target can travel in a given time period at that speed. So I'm looking for him in an area where he obviously has left a long time ago. When I was recording the external shots for this round, I discovered that he was actually all the way on the other side of the hill, and I didn't even know it. I thought he was barely 90 degrees off of where I last saw him, but it was in fact almost coming up in my 6. And he just got me in single target track. He immediately proceeds to fire several missiles at me, which I try desperately to defend by being very low to the ground, hoping to force them to calculate lead and crash into the hill. I still don't see him. I almost hit a tree here, and I still can't find him. I'm thinking if I keep in this turn around these hills, I can drain his missiles and force him down to guns. And then he fires one last missile, and flying so close to the terrain, I fly straight into a tree. I hope that this first VR video was watchable and entertaining, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.